Mga kaibigan, muli po nandito kami sa Cuneta Astrodome sa Pasay City. Actually, first time for this conference na ito pong inyong PBA. Dumayo naman dito at magkamasilayan naman ang ating mga PBA fans dito po sa Pasay. And of course, all over the country, welcome po muli dito sa coverage na aming ginagawa para maihatid namin sa inyo ang aksyon sa inyong paboritong liga. We're taking a look at itong laban na ito ng Santa Lucia Realtors at itong AIR21 Express. At of course, nakikita po natin itong huddle bago tawagin yung unang lima na maglalaro para rito sa Santa Lucia Realtors, si Coach Alfrancis Chua. Ewan ko kung magiging salubong pa rin ang kilay niya pagkatapos ng ball game na ito. The usual thing para dito kay Coach Alfrancis Chua is when he knows he's winning the ball game, tinatanggal niya na yung kanyang tali doon sa kanyang buhok.
Well, you know, I've played for Coach Al Chua a number of times. One of the things na hindi siya masyadong nangyayari sa kanya is quick starts in a conference. I remember, ang unang taon niya sa PBL coaching, he lost his first 2 games. Player niya pa nun si MARLOU. After nun, nag-champion siya. Nung pumasok siya sa PBA, una niyang 2 laro, talo. I was playing for him then at for Tanduay. Pagkatapos nun, diretso rin sa final. So, you know, we'll see kung babawi na si Coach Alfrancis Chua.
Well, if you could remember it right, 2003 season na pumasok ito si Coach Alfrancis Chua bilang head coach sa Santa Lucia Realtors. And actually, this is their 3rd straight 0-2 sa All-Filipino Conference. And let's see if they could make an improvement in this afternoon's ball game. Ito nga ang kanilang kaharap rito, ang Santa Lucia, rather ang AIR21 Express. Now, kanina we've made mention mga kaibigan na kompleto Ricardo's din kung tutusin itong ball game na ito dahil may mga malalaki, nandiyan yung mga shooters natin from the outside. And of course, ang ating mga playmakers, ang AIR21 Express, pinagmamalaki nila dyan. Itong si Winnie Arboleda, ang makakaharap niya rito. Well, actually, nakikita ko rito si Paulo Mendoza muna mag-i-start rito para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. But of course, we have seen some brilliance then on the part of the rookie si Alex Cabagdot.
Well, these guys have been sharing the spotlight para sa Santa Lucia. Si Alex at saka si Paulo. Alam mo, ginagawa pa ni Coach Al ngayon. Pinagsasabay niya po itong dalawa as we look at the starting 5.
Ayan po, makikita natin dyan. So the Del Papo brothers ng AIR21 will be starting para sa kanilang koponan along with Arboleda, Ritualo, and Tubid. Now Mendoza, Tolomia, Aquino, Espino, and Doremdes naman para sa panig ng Santa Lucia Realtors. Many observers have been saying etong Santa Lucia after this first fight, ano ba? Ay, papasok mo ulit. Pero of course, we have seen the players coming off the bench. Nakakabigay naman ng magandang contribution para rito sa panig ng Santa Lucia. As we're off to this ball game, Rendo Ritualo missing with an almost easy 2. Kaya medyo napangiwi siya nung hindi pumasok yung kanyang tira.
Actually wide open for that layup. But yung baka nabigla, sana yan, may bantay.
Oo. Ito si Chester Tolomia starting para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. Well, he earned that spot somehow, ano? Playing for itong green shirts natin for this afternoon. Rendo Ritualo, na-sandwich, nawala ang bola. Kenneth Doremdes, 3-on-3 here. Paulo Mendoza faking up a shot. Doremdes gets it to go for a PM3. Atin sa inyo ng bagong PM. Power to the people.
Of course, Kenneth Doremdes shooting very well from 3-point region, about 30%. Nung huling laro, kung hindi lang siya nagkaroon ng foul trouble, malamang mas marami pang puntos dapat gagawin to si Kenneth Doremdes.
Now, nabanggit mo kanina, Jason, contrasting styles din itong magkabilang koponan. You've also made mention si Coach Alfrancis Chua, the way he would execute the plays in the early goings. He's not exactly off to a quick start, pero right now we're seeing here Kenneth Doremdes, medyo mataas ang kumpiyansa niya to take that 3-point shot earlier.
Well, alam naman natin, Kenneth has been struggling with injuries, kaya hindi rin siya nakaka-take off yung laro niya. And it's just nice to see Kenneth actually start a conference in shape.
Oo. Samantala, nagkaroon ng turnover si Paulo Mendoza. So, bola babalik muli para sa panig nitong AIR21 Express. As we take a look at Winnie Arboleda going to Yancy de Ocampo. Yancy is up against MARLOU Aquino, the human eraser in this conference. At makikita natin kung gaano kailang ang mga tumitira sa harap ni MARLOU Aquino. Chester Tolomia to Dennis Espino. Yes, sir. So, off to a 5-0 start kagad itong panig na Santa Lucia Realtors. AIR21 still looking for their first basket. Air ball para kay Rendo Ritualo. Kenneth Doremdes ang nagbababa ngayon ng bola for the Realtors. As they set up their half-court offense, Dennis Espino. And masyado mababang pasa, hindi makuha ni Kenneth Doremdes. Turnover laban sa Realtors. And what is this? AIR21, sabi nila hindi raw sila sanay ng ganito. Nabobokya sila dito sa early goings ng ball game. They're supposed to have a quick start, so they're forced to call a timeout right away. Makikita natin ang score 5-0 in favor of Santa Lucia.
Off to a quick start courtesy of that TM3 by Kenneth. Tapos nagkaroon rin sila ng fast break opportunity na ina-anchor ni Dennis Espino. Kasi very early nakakuha na kaagad ng 2 rebounds si MARLOU, and that's a good start for itong Santa Lucia Realtors.
Gary David still injured. At of course, yung kanyang injury nagsimula pa yan sa kanilang quarterfinals laban sa Talk and Text Phone Pals in the previous conference. And hindi pa rin siya nakakalaro. Marami rin nag-aabang sa excitement na ibibigay ni Gary David para sa AIR21 Express. Yancy De Ocampo, the kick-out pass punta rito kay Ranidel De Ocampo. Still can't pull up a shot. Ronald Tubig, pilit na pilit yung tira na yon. At sa kakapilit niya, matatawagan pa siya with an offensive foul.
Actually, a good defensive stand ang ginawa ng Santa Lucia Realtors. Good help defense. Actually, Chester Tolomia, X-factor doon dahil siya yung tulong ng tulong doon sa mga ginagawang play ng AIR21.
I just correct myself. It's Ranidel De Ocampo who was called for the personal foul. So, bola babalik para sa panig ng Santa Lucia. Kata-timeout lang ng AIR21 na yan, and they committed another error. So it's still 5-0. Kenneth Doremdes open for another 3. Patay na naman yan. TM3. Sabihin sa inyo na bagong TM. Power to the people. So it's an 8-0 lead for the Realtors. Uhaw na uhaw sa panalo ang Santa Lucia. And they're off to a good start. Indeed.
Of course, Ronald Tubid nasa free throw line siya ngayon. Nagsimula lahat ng problema niya when he tried to go for the steal. And that's the only time na kailangan ni Kenneth Doremdes para makuha yung tira na yun.
We have 9 minutes and 38. It's ating first period of action. And Ronald Tubid, the first 2 points ng panig ng AIR21 via the free throw line. Samantala, steal here. Ranidel De Ocampo going to Ronald Tubid for an easy 2. So may field goal na rin ang AIR21. And it's the 4 points to Ronald Tubid. They're behind by 4. Santa Lucia Realtors sa kanilang opensa naman with Paulo Mendoza. Espino. He is going to be a marked man here. Pero itong si Kenneth Doremdes, he's supposed to be a marked man here. Pero he's shooting na talagang gusto niya pumapasok. 10-4 ngayon.
Nagkaroon doon, Benji, ng cross matchup. Naiwan si Winnie Arboleda dito kay Kenneth Doremdes, and he can easily shoot over the 5'9 Winnie Arboleda.
Careless passing on the part of AIR21, and also the same thing that happened naman para rito sa panig ng Santa Lucia Realtors. As Paulo Mendoza, yan nasukat yung distansya ng kanyang papasahan na si Dennis Espino. Arboleda on the drive here. The dish off inside to Yancy De Ocampo against MARLOU Aquino. Gets the friendly bounce. At ito, unti-unti lang bumabalik rito ang panig ng AIR21. Just a 4-point lead para sa Santa Lucia. Paulo Mendoza sure is going to have a hard time laban dito kay Winnie Arboleda, pero he escapes Winnie Arboleda for the pass to Dennis Espino, who could not make the basket dun sa baseline. Retroalo to Tubid. Squared for the shot. Ayaw pumasok. Battle for the rebound. Espino. Almost a good save. Another try for the save. Ni Chester Tolomia. Ball going out. At tumama sa L21.
Lot of aggressiveness on the part of Santa Lucia Realtors. Not often, nakikita mo, Dennis Espino, tapos sumunod, isa pang Realtor ulit. Dalawa silang diving for the loose ball. And they are rewarded with another possession.
Ito si Chester Tolomia. Kinaliwa yung tira. Wala. MARLOU Aquino getting an offensive rebound. Back to Chester Tolomia. No second serving basket there para kay Chester Tolomia. Tubid on the run here. Tulak sa likod. Bangga sa harap. Yun ang dinana si Ronald Tubid. There's going to be a foul here. Taking a look at Paulo Mendoza. And he's going to pick up his first personal foul. So that's the second, no, first only. Laban dito kay Paulo Mendoza. So Tubid is back at the line for a pair of free throws. He made the first 2 points nitong panig ng AIR21. And we have seen several times, even in the previous conference, that Ronald Tubid parang minumold din to become a point guard. Nagbabago rin ang kanyang role dito sa AIR21.
Well, it seems that the way the offense of AIR21 runs, pinapabayaan rin nila tong mga shooter nila to carry the ball. Nagkaroon ng pagkakataon yan. Last conference, we saw Gary David bring down the ball. Like you said, we saw Ronald Tubid bring down the ball.
Just a 2-point lead na lamang ito para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. It was a sorry loss, the experience at the hands of Barangay Ginebra Kings, leading by as much as 15 in the third quarter of that particular ball game, but losing out in the end. Of course, meron pang injury dun si Eric Meg, sprain on his right ankle. Will he be able to play later on laban sa San Miguel Beermen? That's coming away sa ating second game. In the meantime, ito muna ang concentration natin na ating first game. Ngayon na kaya para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. They lead, but for how long? And it took too long for the Express to execute their offense. At magkakaroon sila ng turnover.
Well, you know, MARLOU AQUINO has not had a block yet dito sa larong na to. Pero he has been a thorn dun sa offensive side ni Yancy de Ocampo. Talagang na-intimidate itong si Yancy kay MARLOU.
Imagine that, yung average ng at least the rest 7 teams pa nakasama dito sa conference na mas mataas pa yung average ni MARLOU AQUINO when it comes to shot blocks. Dennis Espino just made a basket at the top of the key to make it a 6-point lead for the Realtors. Repualo against MARLOU AQUINO. Alam mo, kahit na sa gilid lamang na nakikita ito si MARLOU AQUINO, naiilang itong AIR21 when they're attacking the basket. 14 fouls called against the Santa Lucia Realtors. Malinis pa ang AIR21 Express. Yancy sa labas tumira, hindi rin pumasok. Chester Tolomia with a long pass punta kay Dennis Espino na bitiwan ng bola, but he was fouled. Si Rani Del De Ocampo matatawagan with a foul, and that will be his second. 6:27 remaining dito sa ating first quarter of action. Muli po, Benji Santiago, kasama ko si Jason Webb, Richard Del Rosario at courtside. MARLOU AQUINO right now against a double team going to Dennis Espino. Ikot ang bola to Paulo Mendoza. That one is short pero nagmistulang magandang pasa pala yun para rito kay Chester Tolomia to score his first 2 points of the game.
Chester Tolomia also getting his first rebound. Actually had 15 rebounds in his last game. That's napakadami niyan, Benji, para sa isang gwardya.
Kaya nga, yung nabanggit natin kanina, he deserves a starting spot para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. Santa Lucia just committed their 15th foul. At ito ngayon si Renren Retualo firing away from the outside. Wala! Mendoza going to Chester Tolomia. MARLOU AQUINO with the drop pass inside of Kenneth Dorandes. What a basket para kay Kenneth Dorandes. Already double figures. Ito si Kenneth. Trouble for AIR21. They trail by 15. Pwede pang dagdagan niya ni Chester Tolomia, who was fouled, made the basket earlier, and here he comes right now for the bonus free throw. 2 minutes and 23 ang nalalabi dito sa ating first quarter of action. 6 rebounds for Chester Tolomia. Another aspect of his ball game na talagang flourishing, but his free throws medyo maasim yata.
Pero kanina, pinag-usapan natin, si Renren Retualo has yet to score. Currently 0 out of 5 from the field. Not, ano yan, hindi parang Renren Retualo number.
Samantala, Rani Del De Ocampo working on the inside and scoring para sa pulse ng AIR21. 28-15 right now, Kabagnot. They want to execute this one very well. Kabagnot going to Dennis Espino. Ito ngayon si MARLOU AQUINO. 6 seconds a shot clock. A steal here for Nino Caneleta. Caneleta. Well, he has to change directions in midair just to get off a shot laban kay Dennis Espino. 28-17. Santa Lucia still with the lead here. Dennis Espino, nobody on him. And he back with that shot. Candeleta once again with the leather for AIR21. Patrick Franz in the ball game right now para sa Express. Tubid is also back. Challenging MARLOU Aquino. Wala. Dalawang AIR21 players naglabanan sa rebound. Ang bola napunta sa Santa Lucia. Abagno trying to set up Kenneth Dorendes, who already has 2 3-point shots here. Pero KG Candeleta partially blocking that shot to Kenneth Dorendes. Santa Lucia still keeping it alive here. Kabagnot off with a runner. Ayaw Dennis Espino. Offensive rebound. Nilalagay na lang. Ayaw pa. Tubid against Colombia. Tubid has to stretch out just to get that basket. AIR21 here trying to get back into this ball game. May loose ball foul na may tatawag laban kay MARLOU Aquino. Lamang pa rin sila in this ball game with 31.9 seconds remaining. It has been chest of Colombia. Kenneth Dorendes started hot here para Santa Lucia Realtors. But of course, both teams are already in the penalty. And that loose ball foul magre-resulta ng 2 free throws to be awarded para rito kay Mark Telan. Si Mark Telan po, dating manlalaro ng Talking Text phone pounds. And of course, na-involved si Trey or John Ferriols. Kaya si John Ferriols ang nasa Hong Kong, si Mark Telan na nandito sa Cuneta ngayon.
Well, of course, in that game in Hong Kong, both teams coming off a loss, looking to go back in their winning ways. Especially Talking Text na hindi pa rin nakakatikim. Same boat, same situation with Santa Lucia Realtors, who are still looking for their first win in this conference. 28-20, Santa Lucia sa kanilang half-court offense. They have the lead. Kabagnot, nilampasan si Candeleta, nabitiwan ng bola. Patrick Fran trying to retrieve that leather, pero ball will stay for the Realtors. 7 seconds on their shot clock. Medyo may katagalan na ng huling nakascore itong Santa Lucia Realtors.
Coach Alfrancis Chua reacting. Let's try to find out there. Meron pa tayong 14 seconds dito sa quarter na ito.
I think they're still, at this point, they're still talking about yung loose ball foul na tinawag. Pero ang problema, pumasok yung tira na yon. So they're still clarifying kung counted o hindi.
Oh, okay.
So ayun, actually it was already counted. Yung huling tira ni Alex Cabagnot yun.
So our official score stands at 30-20. The turnaround jumper ni KG Candeleta. Wala, pero the tip in for Mark Telan.
Mark Telan, ever since he came into the ball game, has been a lot of fire, has brought a lot of fire para sa AIR21. Coming in with 5 points, he came in at around the 6-minute mark. Alam naman natin, nung naglaro siya kontra Talking Text, maganda pinakita niya. At mukhang nagke-carry over yung good performance niya in his last game.
Well, he made 16 points in that particular ball game, played for 35 minutes. And eto, dying seconds ng ating first quarter, the extra pass. At medyo nagsasakripisyo nga sila rito ng ilang mga puntos na nawawala galing sa kanilang main man na si Renren Retualo.
Well, of course, the second unit is actually the one making a run para dito sa AIR21. Nung pinalitan yung starting rotation, kailan nakahabol itong AIR21.
Itong Santa Lucia, wala pang panalo dito sa ating All-Filipino Conference na ito. At actually, dating back to the previous conference, they have already lost 4 games in a row. At itong 2006, ang Santa Lucia naghahanap ng kanilang unang panalo. So, first quarter field goal story natin, napakataas para Santa Lucia with a 54% clip compared to the 31% clip lamang ng AIR21. As we see here,
KG Candeleta will be called for the hook. Trying to spin itong si Catley around para makapunta siya sa strong side niya.
Unang foul lamang yan para rito kay KG Candeleta. And Alex Cabagnot, who came off the bench, still in the ball game, along with Cesar Catley right now, seeing action for the first time this ball game, along with Ricky Kalimag. Nasa loob rin po para Santa Lucia itong si Ito yung Mulon. Outside shot, TM3. Sabihin sa inyo ng bagong TM. Power to the people. That's Alex Cabagnot for you.
Alex Cabagnot hitting his first 3 of the conference. Actually was 0 of 8 up to that point. So good showing, good start para kay Alex on the 3-point region.
Samantala, Ronald Tubid trying to follow up the missed shot. Ito si Mark Telan was fouled on an attempt. At si Nelbert Umulon na matatawagan with a foul here. 2 team fouls laban sa Santa Lucia Realtors. Kanina, ang aga rin nilang pumasok sa penalty.
You know, when you see Ronald Tubin and nagkaroon ng tira and they're playing offense, you have to put a body on him. He's a very energetic player and you know he's gonna go for the offensive rebound. Kaya kailangan i-box out mo na kaagad.
Ronald Tubin had 8 points in their win laban sa Talk and Text Phone Pals.
He had 8 in that game. In today's game, he's already outdone himself. Nakaka 10 points na siya and we're only here at the start of the second quarter.
So we're also taking a closer look at that binabanggit natin kaninang war at the outside, ano? And of course, tinitingnan din natin, binamatyagan din natin yung Twin Towers laban din sa mga malalaki nitong AIR21 Express. This is an offensive foul.
2 quick fouls para kay Omolon. That time, kinuhanan naman siya ng offensive ni Ronald Tubid. We know he will rebound. The other thing that we know, very sure na kukunin ni Ronald Tubid ay subukan niyang kumuha ng offensive foul mula sa iyo.
Ranadel De Ocampo working his way laban dito kay Ricky Kalimag pero extra steps at matatawagan siya with the traveling. So they will turn that ball over. Just an 8-point lead para Santa Lucia Realtors. The coaching staff of AIR21 Express looking anxious.
Benji, early on, nakita nga natin yung field goal shooting ng Santa Lucia kontra itong AIR21. But the other thing, big stat that we see here is that Santa Lucia already has 8 assists compared to the 1 of AIR21.
Well, we've seen that a lot of times na nangyari in the first quarter of action, the extra passes. Pero dito, ang panig ng AIR21. Mark Telan forcing the situation there. Wala pa rin nangyari kay G. Calineto. Wala pa rin. Randall De Ocampo. Burado ka. Pangalawang sinupalpal ni MARLOU AQUINO dito sa ating first half of the ball game. Pero the bad pass. Ito ngayon si Mark Telan with an easy 2.
Kabagnot! Kabagnot!
Ilang mahirap. Ano? Parang si MARLOU AQUINO. Sabi niya, ako na nga nanupalpal dito. Tulungan niyo naman ako pagbalik sa opensa nitong kalaban dahil nag-iisa na ako rito sa backcourt. 33-27, just a 6-point lead for the Realtors. MARLOU AQUINO rewarded naman for his great effort at the defensive end of Santa Lucia with a pass from Alex Cabagnot.
Of course, Alex creating that opportunity para kay MARLOU, rewarding his big man by getting him that, you know, pseudo open shot.
Parang sinabi ni Alex Cabagnot, huwag na sumama loob mo. Ito. Masyushutin naman kita. Ricky Kalimag will be called for his second personal foul. MARLOU AQUINO pagpapahingayin. He has a couple of shot blocks already here in the first half. Binalik si Dennis Espino. They lead by 8. Ranidel. Wala nang MARLOU AQUINO rito. At medyo naging madali to attack the basket. May foul pa na maitatawag laban sa Santa Lucia. So a 3-point play opportunity here para kay Ranidel De Ocampo. Kapapasok pa lamang ni Dennis Espino.
Alam mo, Benji, this second quarter going the same way as how the first quarter went in terms of the foul trouble para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. They already have 4 and we still have 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go. So something that yung AIR21 can take advantage of dahil isa na lang penalty na itong Santa Lucia.
The lead has been cut down to 5 right now, 35-30. Cabagnot. Papunta kay Cesar Catley, his specialty, shoot from the outside. That time, he overshoots. Pero the hustle play nitong si Nelbert Umulon in trying to get that loose ball. They foul. Si Patrick Fran ang matatawagan with that one. At si Umulon with a couple of fouls. Papalitan muna. At ibabalik si Kenneth Loremdes who had 10 points in the first quarter. No, make that 12 points para kay Captain Marbel back in the first 12 minutes of play. Doremdes going to Dennis Espino. Espino backing up against Mark Telan. Espino can't get it off the glass. Ranadel De Ocampo for the rebound here. Fran to Telan. Cross court. KG Candeleta. Cesar Catli trying to bounce the ball off Mark Telan, pero traveling call may tatawag dito sa AIR21.
Pero interesting yung pass na dapat ni Mark Telan. Was actually supposed to go to the corner for Ronald Tubid, pero ito si KG, nakita niya, kaya ko itong abutin. Inabot niya. Actually intercepting the pass of his teammate.
At si KG Candeleta po, mga kaibigan, high leaper, slam dunk king. Basta may nakitang bola sa area, gusto niya kunin eh. Meantime, before that shot, foul. Pangalawa may itatawag laban kay Patrick Fran. At itong Santa Lucia hanging on to a 5-point lead here. Sideline throw in for the Realtors here. Dennis against Mark Telan. Espino. Well, he will get 2 points there.
Well, Dennis using his strength down low. Alam niyang kaya niyang mabangga at maatras to si Mark Telan, and no help came in time to actually change the shot of Dennis.
12 puntos na po si Dennis Espino. Cheston Tolomia helping out on the defensive end. Or make that Cesar Catli rather. At bola, lilipat pa para sa panig ng Santa Lucia Realtors. So double block eye. Ano nangyari ron sa AIR21?
Well, nakita na ni Cesar Catli yung drive ni Ronald Tubid na ganun din kanina. Kaya naabangan niya ito at nasupalpal niya. Good defense for Cesar Catli.
37-30 right now. Lots of time dito sa ating second quarter of action. Kabagnot to Dennis Espino. He spots and he gets another 2 points. 14 in the ball game right now para kay Dennis Espino.
And another good setup by Alex Kabagnot, drawing the defense to him and giving his teammates an open shot at the basket.
Ranidel, the big brother Yancy. And Yancy De Ocampo will get his second basket of the ball game. 39-32 sa ating scoreboard. 7-point lead here for the Realtors. Kenneth left open, patay! At gumagana na naman ang sniping nitong panig ng Santa Lucia Realtors. 14 in the ball game para kay Captain Marvel. Sasagot pa, KG Candeleta. Tiyak press at insenyo na bagong power to the people. Yes, he has that in his arsenal.
But, you know, he just puts so much pressure on you offensively because you know that he can drive hard to the basket. But once he hits those three-pointers, napakahirap na talagang bantayan ni KG.
And that time, he bothered the shot nitong si Kenneth Doremdes. AIR21 gets the ball back. Winnie Arboleda to Ranidel De Ocampo. Back to Winnie Arboleda. Arboleda guarded tightly by Kabagnot. Going to Ranidel De Ocampo. 9 seconds sa shot clock here. Bola matatapik. Picked up by Alex Kabagnot. 2-on-2 situation here. Catli, blank sa likod. Good defense. Winnie Arboleda coming from the blind side. At may mga palitan tayo rito, mga kaibigan. Renzo Netualo. Maghahanap pa rin ng kanyang production in this ball game. MARLOU AQUINO, binalik rin ni Coach Alfrancis Chua sa panig naman ng Santa Lucia. It's just going to be a 30-second timeout na itatawag nitong si Coach Alfrancis Chua. 6 na lamang ang kalamangan ng Santa Lucia. Now he's got that worried look. Coach Alfrancis Chua, but it's just the first half. MARLOU AQUINO will be inbounding para sa Santa Lucia. Off the inbound, tira ni Kenneth Doremdes, hindi pumasok. Arboleda brings down the leather for AIR21 to an open Yancy De Ocampo who could not hit it from that distance. Kabagnot, laban kay Winnie Arboleda. Trying to change directions. Foul ang ibibigay ni Winnie Arboleda, who will pick up his third. Samantala, punta muna natin sa Richard Del Rosario at courtside.
Alam mo, Benji, the last outing of Santa Lucia, after the game, nagkaroon ng konting altercation between some of the team officials of Santa Lucia, led by, of course, si former Chairman Buddy Encarnado, and some league officials. Tinanong ko dyan si Mr. Encarnado kung ano nangyari. Sabi lang niya, he was just frustrated because he saw how hard his players played in that last game. And that's why na-frustrate siya when the calls did not come their way nung end game nung laro na yon. Pero sinasabi nga niya, a lot of people have been criticizing his players, especially veterans na medyo kailangan na raw yung iba mag-retire. Pero nagpakita raw talaga sila last game, kaya na-frustrate lang siya talaga nung last game. At sinasabi lang niya, the officials should just elevate raw their officiating to do justice to the efforts of all the teams, not only Santa Lucia. Para raw yung team na mananalo, walang shadow of any doubt dun sa legitimacy nung panalo na yon. So, yun lang gusto sabihin ni former chairman Encarnado, in challenges players to keep on working hard so that they can get their first win. Benji?
All right, thank you very much. Yes, Jason.
Alam mo, Benji, speaking of the veterans na sinabi nga na may mention ni Richard, Dennis Espino has been shooting 8 out of 12. Kenneth Doremdes, 6 out of 9. We know how MARLOU is playing. He's been blocking a lot of shots. So, not only did they play well the last game, mukhang nagpapakita ulit sila ng magandang showing sa larong ito.
Well, we know naman, in almost every conference, almost every season of the PBA, of course, yung officiating has been criticized a lot. But ito rin PBA has made tremendous effort na ma-improve yan, to satisfy everybody. And of course, tayo rin, sa panel. Jason, nagkakaroon pa nga tayo ng meeting with the PBA. And of course, the officials, led by Mr. Perry Martinez, has been explaining to us some of the calls. And of course, hindi naman natin masasabi na it's all that bad. Pero of course, it could also be another sort of a wake-up call on the part of the former chairman, Buddy Encarnado, na siguro, tingnan din natin muli. This is a new conference, Nag-uumpisa tayo rito,
Well, let's face it, referees are human. Hindi naman lang sa PBA nagkakaroon ng problema sa officiating. Miski nga sa NBA, which sabi nila, #1 league in the world, nagkakaroon rin ng konting kirian yung mga even team owners, players, with the officials because there's still room for human error. You just hope that it doesn't happen often.
Well, of course, maybe just to lessen the frustration of Mr. Buddy Encarnado, the Santa Lucia Realtors have been doing great so far dito sa ball game na ito. Actually, in the previous game, laban sa Barangay Ginebra Kings, talagang tinakot rin nila yung Gin Kings, Pero somehow in the end game, medyo kinapos lang ito Santa Lucia. Let's see in this ball game, Alex Cabagnot, almost a gimme basket for him, pero hindi pumasok. AIR21 trying to get back into this ball game. A strong drive here. The Bruce Dasha off the pass ni Winnie Arboleda. Oh, look now, this is just a 2-point game.
AIR21 making its run courtesy of those fast break opportunities. Nagpalit na naman sila ng mga tao dito. Pinasok na rin nila si Bruce Dasha who has helped them with that finger roll layup.
Kenneth Doremdes off the glass. Wala. And here comes AIR21. One shot at a time ang nangyayari. Nakikita natin para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. And Hector Recualo with a TM press. As much as 13 points. 13 points. Ang hinabol nitong AIR21. At ang Santa Lucia Realtors, anong nakita natin dito? A lot of gang rebounding, defensive rebound siguro na mamayani ang panig ng AIR21 at this juncture of the ball game, Jason.
Well, we know that sinabi nga natin that itong Santa Lucia, they do have the Twin Towers, pero ang ginagawa naman ng AIR21, dinadamihan na lang nila, pinapadala nila para dito sa offensive at defensive rebounding.
Unproductive thrust para sa huling offensiva nitong Santa Lucia. And look at this. Offensive rebound na naman yan for AIR21. Another one. Winnie Arboleda puts up a shot from the outside. TM press na tawag namin dyan sa yung bago TM. Power to the people.
Winnie measuring himself at ang distansya niya kay Paulo. And once he knew na hindi na siya maabot ni Paulo, tinirahan niya kaagad ito ng harap-harapan.
So Lito Alvarez ng AIR21, all smiles. After sabi niya, nakikita niya, this is how we play the ball game. We can shoot on the outside. We're deadly in that area. Look at this clogging defense. Pero MARLOU AQUINO has something to say about that situation. Was able to drill in 2 points. 49-47 right now. All of a sudden, iba. Biglang ihip ng hangin dito sa second quarter. Back into this ball game, we see Yancy missing the shot. And Dennis Espino, ang nagbabana ng bola para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. Goes inside to Kenneth Doremdes. Doremdes in the turnaround. Yes, sirree. 18 points in the ball game para kay Kenneth Doremdes.
Well, not really how you wanted to set up that play. Ito si Dennis Espino nagbaba ng bola, tapos si Kenneth na naka-post up. But you can't argue with 2 points.
Yancy laban kay Oliver Agapito. Yancy palapit na palapit sa basket. The pass stolen by Dennis Espino. Napitiwan naman at the end line pero tumama sa isang AIR21 player. So bola pa rin ng Green Shirts. 49 all sa ating scoreboard. 1 minute and 12 remaining. Taking a look, Bruce Dasha has contributed dito sa ball game na ito. Pero si Mark Telan, kung merong Mark the Spark ang Barangay Ginebra Kings, si sparking something itong Mark naman ng AIR21.
Yancy De Ocampo called for that technical foul. A bit unhappy siya dun sa nangyaring post-up niya na ginawa kanina na hindi natawagan ng foul. Pero mas hindi natuwa sa kanya ang referee, kaya tinawagan siya ng technical.
Paano raw sinusungkit yung braso niya, pinakita niya talaga doon sa referee. Pero hindi mo yata pwedeng hawakan yung referee, di ba?
Kenneth Duremdes having a big game para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. 18 points already here in the first half. His conference average is 14, so good start para kay Kenneth.
Well, he had 15 in their losing cause laban sa Barangay Ginebra Kings in their previous game. Played for 24 minutes. Doremdes seeing Chester Tolomia more open. Getting it the rest. Insignia ng bagong TM. Power to the people. Nakakarami na rin itong si Chester Tolomia para sa paring ng Santa Lucia Realtors. Him and Kenneth Doremdes were responsible for Santa Lucia to get as much as 13 points na kalamangan kanina laban sa AIR21. Pero ito si Mark Telan by double-digit figures na rin ang kanyang contribution. 10 points!
And of course, syempre, banda dapat yan pag si Mark Telan ang tumitira.
At yun nga, bakit nga naman? Yun ang effective para sa kanya.
Well, you know, we actually did a lot of shoot-around, me and Mark Telan, when we were still playing with Tanduay. At yun, lagi niyang pinapractice yun. Pabanda pa ng pabanda. Halos yung mga anggulo na tingin mo, hindi pwede ibanda. Kayang ibanda ni Mark Telan.
Siguro nung araw, nangarap siya na maging singer ng isang banda, pero napakalaki niya, naging basketball player siya. So pabanda na lang, kahit pa paano may banda pa rin doon. Yung ginagawa niya rito. 53-51 Santa Lucia sa kanilang opensa. Paulo Mendoza to Dennis Espino. Yes! And Dennis Espino with 19 big points. 9 here in the second quarter. Arboleda to Mark Telan. Going to Bruce Dasha. Nobody on him. And easy 2 para kay Bruce Dasha. 4 points. In the meantime, Paulo Mendoza. The kick out to Kenneth Dorandes. It's on its way. Malakas lamang. At naubos ang oras dito sa ating quality player of the game. Crown Pipes putting quality first. Of course, si KG Canyaleta, malaki. Somehow, ang inaambag niya rito para sa panig ng AIR21 Express. One of the guys was responsible, kaya nakahabol na itong AIR21. As we get things going para sa ating third quarter of action. Open is Chester Tolomia Ayaw. And Winnie Arboleda picks up the loose ball here. He brings it down for AIR21. Going for another tie here. Pero distansya. Long distance shot nitong si Ranidel. Hindi pumasok. Well, assistant coach Adonis Tierra was making mention yung kanilang 17 assists back in the first half na unti-unting tumigil na first quarter, 17 assists, and then all of a sudden nothing much has happened. And of course, assistant coach Alan Gregorio was also making mention na parang nagra-run and gun itong Santa Lucia Realtors. That's their brand of game.
Exactly. And actually, the problem is that they are not going down on defense. Yun ang sinasabi niya. Transition defense is what is killing them.
At ito, may pulot at may agaw itong panig ng Santa Lucia. Dennis Espino drop pass. I didn't go for the shot. Foul was already given up.
Obviously, nag-iinayan si Dennis dahil alam niya na napituhan na tapos napasa pa niya. We know that he is shooting 95% from the free throw line. So, kung siya napunta sa free throw line, parang pwede mo na ilista yun.
Doremdes off the glass. Ayaw. MARLOU Aquino getting an offensive rebound. Keeping it alive para Santa Lucia Realtors. And Dennis shoots one from the outside. Ayaw. Telan to KG Candileta. Candileta airborne. Nakaharang si Dennis Espino. Pumailalim pa ito si Dennis Espino. Foul na maitatawag. And that will be his third for Dennis Jimenez. Alam na lahat kung anong gagawin ito si Candileta. Pero makukontento na siya to shoot from the free throw line.
You know, Dennis is a veteran. He knows na hindi niya pwedeng padangkin ito si KG Canaleta dahil magkakaroon talaga ng change ng momentum o talaga magkakaroon ng momentum itong AIR21 kung mangyari yun. That's why minabuti niya na lang na i-foul na lang and make him shoot 2 free throws.
55 all sa ating scoreboard. We're here in the third quarter. As Kenneth Doremdes giving the ball papunta rito kay Paulo Mendoza. Paulo. Almost losing that leather. Recovery. Now Kenneth Doremdes has it. 4 seconds to their shot clock. Scoops one in for Captain Marbel. Lamang na naman muli ang Santa Lucia 57-55. Telan from outside. Ayaw. Speed for the rebound. Quickly to chest of Colombia. Colombia waiting for his other teammates here. Colombia now inside to MARLOU AQUINO with a jump hook and it's in. Si MARLOU AQUINO meron na pong 8 puntos dito sa ball game na ito. Canaleta losing the leather at the end line.
AIR21 trying to catch itong Santa Lucia Realtors snapping pero sumobra yung pasa ni Winnie Arboleda. Nagkaroon patuloy sila ng turnover.
So 4-point lead. Pwede pang palakihin ito panig ng Santa Lucia. Doremdes has that in mind pero iba ang iniisip naman ng bola. Hindi pumasok. 59-55 here. Ren license to shoot. Why not?
Since the first quarter where he struggled, Ren has been making most of his shots since the second quarter. He came in late in that quarter, about 3 minutes to go. At ngayon dito sa third, mukhang tuloy pa rin ang init ng shooting hand ni Ren.
Meron na siyang 7 points dito sa ball game na ito. 59-57 here. Dennis Espino. Strong and aggressive move in that shaded area. Si Ranidel De Ocampo ang nakahuli ron with his 4th personal foul. At yung binabanggit mo na steady hand, the Dennis Espino shooting free throws now is being given a chance at this point of the ball game. His first one on its way. Tawa ka, Jason.
Pinansin mo.
Pinansin.
Ikaw ang pumansin. Hindi ako. But you know, that's gonna drastically lower his shooting clip to 90%.
Yeah. All right. He took care of the second one. So now they lead by 3, 60-57. Mark Telan. Now to Winnie Arboleda. Homer set against MARLOU AQUINO. Jump hook won't go. Bola pa rin ang AIR21. Wala. Mark Telan with a tip in. Ayaw. Offensive rebound. Mark Telan. Will be called for traveling.
But you know, Mark Telan was just, you know, he is 6'6", pero napayungan na siya ng Twin Towers ng Santa Lucia that time. Kaya hindi niya na makita yung ring. Kaya kinailangan niyang banggain ito si Dennis. Doon siya napituhan ng traveling.
So a 3-point lead para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. At tit for tat ang nangyari ron.
Exactly, Mark returning the favor. Dennis expecting a bump from Mark. Pero wise rin si Mark. Inatrasan niya si Dennis kaya nagkaroon ng off balance ito si Espino.
Arboleda laban kay Paulo Mendoza. The pass inside to KG Canaleta. Konting tulak. At makikita yan ni referee Boy Cruz. Si Chester Colombia matatawagan. Only his second personal foul. And Santa Lucia, story of team fouls natin. Meron na ang AIR21 ng 3. Santa Lucia with 2. Telan, leisurely taking a shot from the outside. Wala. Set the board na tinamaan doon. At foul ang may bibigay naman ni Homer C. His 3rd personal foul.
Yung mga big man nitong AIR21, most of them in mini foul trouble. Ito si YANCY has 3, kanina si Ranidel may 3, ito rin si Homer may 3 na.
Si Ranidel, 4 na. So 62-57, Captain Marbel. Mainit pa rin para sa Santa Lucia Realtors. What about Ren Retualo? Mainit na rin nga ba? The ball away! Yes! 9 points in the game para kay Ren Retualo. So yung outside wards natin ay gumaganda. dito sa ating second half. So we see scoring duel between Kenneth Dorantes and Bernard Ecualo. Colombia, offensive rebound, goes to MARLOU Aquino. Trying to slam it home. Nakasabit lamang itong si Homer Se. So that will mean 2 free throws para kay MARLOU Aquino.
And that's when you know that MARLOU Aquino is having fun again. Pag
He
nakikita
wants
mo,
to help the cause of his team here na naghahanap pa lamang ng kanilang unang panalo. It could be serious fun para kay MARLOU Aquino, although he missed on his first free throw. Not exactly the best aspect of his ball game. Only 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 shot blocks para kay the skyscraper. 1 out of 2 in that trip to the line for MARLOU. 4-point lead para Santa Lucia Realtors. Danieleta going to Bernard Ecualo. Ecualo will shoot. And he will miss, but he will be fouled. At si Chester Colombia, may 3 personal fouls na. Sa Santa Lucia, meron na rin 3 team fouls. 7 minutes and 32 ang nalalabid dito sa ating third quarter. Mamaya po Barangay Ginebra, Gen Kings laban sa San Miguel Pier. Sa ating second game, Bernard Ecualo just made another basket for his 11th point.
6 points for Rendren here in the third quarter. Sabi nga natin, nag-iinit na to si Ritualo.
This is a 63-61 lead for Santa Lucia Realtors. MARLOU Aquino off the glass, too strong. Ritualo taking care of rebounding here. And the long pass to Homer Se will be fouled. Sayang, oh, nandun na yung follow-up dunk sana ni Mark Milans. Ang daming biglang pangyayari. Well, this is a tied ball game that we're seeing here. Homer Se could not complete a 3-point play, could not break the tie at 63 all. Dorantes puts it up from the outside. TM press naman yan. It's a bagong TM. Power to the people. Breaking the deadlock. Leading by 3 as Santa Lucia. Candeleta trying to answer right back. Ayaw. Paulo Mendoza inside. It's Nelbert Pomolon. Too crowded the situation at nawala sa kanya yung bola. Arboleda gaining control of the lead. Nice drop pass. So punta kay Homer Se.
Homer Se doing a lot of help para sa kanyang team. Nakaka-6 na puntos na si Homer. We know that he is getting a lot of minutes dahil nga may foul trouble na yung Leo Campo brothers.
Ito na naman si Kenneth Dorantes, pero this time he completely missed the hoop. At bola mananatili pa rin para Santa Lucia Realtors. Homer Se, big man is taking care of the defensive end dito nga panig ng AIR21, but he could also produce the points, and so is this guy who hits a TM press. At sa inyo na bagong TM, power to the people, Paulo Mendoza.
Very important shot for Paulo. Only his first field goal, his first points of the game. Kailangan nila ng more offensive options, and definitely, ito si Paulo can be one of them.
Could also bring up his confidence. Para gumana ng gusto yung kanyang opensa dito sa ball game na ito. Samantala, turnover, may tatawag laban dito sa AIR21 because it's a foul. May tatawag laban kay Rendren. Kay Ginebras taking their 2-0 standings against San Miguel Beermen.
Alam mo, Benji, when we did the start of the broadcast, sinabi mo nga that itong Santa Lucia, maraming puntos sa kanila nanggagaling sa starting 5, and that has hold true again dito sa laban natin. The Santa Lucia starters scoring 66 points out of their 69. At the only points coming outside of that ay yung 3 points si Alex Cabagnot. So, really looking for help from the bench itong starting 5 ng Santa Lucia.
Kenneth Dorantes against a double team. It was really going for the shot that time around. At kumbaga, he used his experience. Sumabit itong si Winnie Arboleda, who picked up his 4th personal foul, sending Captain Barbel to the line for 2 free throws. At ito si Kenneth Dorantes. He was even explaining during halftime ng interview siya ng Richard Del Rosario. They have to maintain their focus into this ball game. They could have 25 big points, make them already 26. para rito kay Captain Marbel. At yan ang pinoproblema itong coaching staff ng AIR21.
Exactly. Sabi nga kanina ni Coach Alan Gregorio that Kenneth and Dennis have been having big games, career games ang sinabi niya. And they really have to stop Kenneth. You'd expect Kenneth to score around in the 20 region naman if he is healthy in the All-Filipino. That is why Santa Lucia made that move to get him in 2003 because they know how dominant a player Kenneth can be.
And he's showing it with his 27-point output. We're just here in the third. Maraming oras pa, 5 minutes and 23. AIR21 down by 6 points, 71-65. Tubid from the outside. Abigit. Bola picked up by Ronald Tubid. Great save here for AIR21. And Ritualo draws near, dishing up to Mark Telan who will get the basket. 12 points in the ball game para kay Mark Telan. Basa apat ang kalamangan ng Santa Lucia Realtors. Paulo Mendoza outed by Winnie Arboleda. Paulo can't shoot over Mark Telan, pero ito MARLOU Aquino. Back to Paulo Mendoza. Very patient offense here. Might be too patient. Pero it paid off. Oliver Agapito just scored his first 2 points of the ball game.
That is the 5th point of coming off the bench out of Santa Lucia. Mukhang narinig tayo ni Aga, kaya nakatira to sa side.
Samantala, ito si Ronald Tubid. Great turnaround jumper. Bounces in. 73-69. At mamadali masyado Santa Lucia that time around to lose the leather at the end line. Napangiwi si Coach Alfrancis Chua. 73-69 here with 4:19 remaining. Winnie Arboleda trying to shake off. Ito si Paulo Mendoza pero too strong a pass. Huli na ng makalingon. Ito si Yancy De Ocampo.
Exactly, a couple of teammates back-to-back, not in the same page. Paulo Mendoza, akala niya tatakbo kanina itong si Delbert Omolon. On the other side naman, ito si Winnie, not reading what itong si Yancy wanted to do.
So ball goes back for the Realtors. Taking care of a 4-point lead. Wanting to increase it dito sa kanilang opensa na ito. The dish. MARLOU Aquino. Talaga sumusubok. Well, he's just showing a lot of power. Pero ito, that pass for Santa Lucia. And Ronald Tubid trying to be fancy there. Wala nangyari doon sa opensiba na yan ng AIR21. Agapito brings it down for the Realtors. Dorendes nakalampas kay Ritualo and goes for the finger roll for his 29th point in this ball game. 75-69. AIR21, ano ang panagot kay Kenneth Dorendes. Off the mark. Ronald Tubid. Fast break in the making it for the Realtors. Inulak ni Ronald Tubid. Ito si Kenneth Dorendes. Tumama kay Delbert Omolon. Omolon made the basket.
The cornerstones of this franchise. Ito yung ini-imagine nila. Dennis sa ilalim at si MARLOU. Si Kenneth galing sa labas. And of course, anchor ng depensa nga nila. Sa supalpala naman si MARLOU. And tonight, it seems that all those three things are clicking for the Santa Lucia Realtors.
20.6 rebounds, 4 assists para kay Dennis Espino. And he has been starting that way actually since yung kanilang opening game dito sa All-Filipino Conference nito. Because they lost out to Pure Foods Chunky Giants and then they lost to Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings. Pero this time, seems like they're doing pretty well. Lamang sila rito laban sa AIR21 at ito magdadagdag pa ng kalamangan si Kenneth Dorendes for his team. Well, si Umulod yung nakashoot, ano? Pero si Kenneth yung final itong si Ronald Tubid.
Exactly, because Ronald trying to save the fast break pero Kenneth was in front of him. Nasagasaan si Kenneth, bawal sumagasa sa PBA.
9-point lead for the Realtors. Tubid puts up a shot. Wala na naman. At ito, Paulo Mendoza brings it down. Papunta kay Omolon. To Dennis Espino. Nando si Ricky Kalimag. Bola pa rin na Santa Lucia Realtors. Pero napakaraming tulakan dun sa ilalim. At may 3-second violation pa na may tatawag laban sa Santa Lucia.
So interesting halos lahat na nung Santa Lucia Realtors nagsama-sama na dun sa 3-second area. Pag kinumbine mo yon, 15 seconds na yung tawag sa kanila.
Well, ang bola lilipat na para sa panig ng AIR21. They missed on that opportunity to increase their lead. O kaya bigyan ng double-digit lead na naman ang kanilang kupunan laban sa AIR21. Patrick Fran right now. Nandiyan pa rin si Ronald Tubid, who has been missing a lot of shots in this quarter. At eto, Omolon enters the shot blocking department. Yung area ni MARLOU Aquino is helping out sa defensive end.
Well, etong si Ren Ritualo has been hot the entire third quarter. The only way he would miss, it seems, supalpal. Kaya sinupalpal siya ni Helbert.
Ritualo. Ayan na naman, supalpal na naman ang inabot na kayo Molon. Pero bola na nakuha ni KG Caneleta. Who will get the shot to go? It's a TM press. Atin sa inyo ng bagong TM. Power to the people. 78-72. Surprise basket there para kay KG Caneleta. Time was running out sa kanilang shot clock. Espino laban kay YANCY de Ocampo. And a dribbling violation may tatawag laban dito kay Dennis Espino.
Very easy call for the referees.
For his team into this ball game to get their first win. Ritualo, the dish inside. Ryan Bernardo will score. Set up job by Renra Ritualo, who played decoy.
Giving him that assist pass.
Hindi na kompleto pero KG Caneleta. Oh! So naging 4-point swing ito para sa panig ng AIR21 Express. And it's just a 2-point ball game. Coach Alfrancis Chua sues for time here. This is just going to be with 1 minute and 52 remaining sa ating third quarter. It's just a 30-second timeout na itinawag ni Coach Alfrancis Chua. Kanina, threatening for a double-digit lead na Santa Lucia. AIR21 finding ways to get back into this ball game, Jason.
Well, AIR21, ayan, one of the guys has been a catalyst right there. Nino Caneleta hit that three-pointer a while ago. Tapos back-to-back yan with that layup of Ryan Bernardo. Tapos nakashoot na naman si Caneleta. Mukhang gagawin na naman ni KG yung paghahabol. Pareho ng ginawa niya kontra yung token text nung huling laro nila nung linggo.
Well, titignan natin. After this quarter, meron pa tayong 1 full quarter ahead.
Look at the blocks. Itong Santa Lucia, meron na silang building blocks na 7. Doon sa AIR21, 3.
Espino against Ryan Bernardo. They go to Ricky Kalimag, who puts up the shot. Wala. Rebound. Handled. Just a Colombia. Pumuesto muna. He had to establish position on the floor. Good save here for the Realtors. Paulo Mendoza to Ricky Kalimag. 8 seconds sa kanilang shot clock. Paulo Mendoza draws near. The dish up. Omolon will get the basket. 4 points in the game para kay Nelbert Omolon.
Excellent setup job done by Paulo. All of the players of AIR21 expecting him to shoot already at the last minute. Pero siya, he had other plans.
Brendan Ritualo missing badly with that shot. Waiting for the contact. Let go situation. Kalimag right now. To Omolon, wala. May tulak sa ilalim in that rebound play. And this one will go. Hindi tayo magkakamali kay Ryan Bernardo. Yes, it is. At nasa penalty na rin itong AIR21. So, free throw shooting time here para sa Santa Lucia. And it's Ricky Kalimag will be shooting free throws. As there you could see, may mga instructions pa rin si Coach Alfrancis Chua. Pag nakikita niyang may dead ball situation. Only 45.7 seconds remaining here in the third. Ritualo, who was blocked twice by Nelbert Omolon. Pinalitan muna si Bruce Dasha. Ibinalik ng AIR21 on the floor. 82-76 here. Patrick Fran up against Paulo Mendoza. Dasha. Mahigpit ang pagbabantay ni Chester Tolomeo. Dasha. Alos hindi niya makita yung kanyang kakampi rito. Tangan pa rin niya yung bola. Dasha finally lets it go. Goes to KG Caneleta. Caneleta puts it up! That time around, ayaw. And Colombia coming down with a rebound here. Okay, the final 10 seconds dito ang ating third quarter. Bola na Santa Lucia. Lamang sila ng 6. And they make a basket here to end the third quarter. Dennis Espino, lumabas pa. Ito si Kenneth Doremdes na maganda yung pinapakita for 3 quarters. But we still have the fourth quarter. Of course, Kenneth Doremdes, meron siyang high output, scoring 39 points in the 2005 Fiesta Conference. Makati Coliseum game yan. They won over the San Miguel Beermen 97-80. Is he off for another high output in this ball game? May foul na naitawag laban kay Ricky Kalimag.
Well, kanina nasilip natin ang quarter scoring. In the first quarter, it was Santa Lucia. Second quarter, AIR21. In the third, again, it was Santa Lucia. If it continues to go that trend, mukhang itong AIR21 ay hahabol dito sa fourth quarter.
Almost every quarter, ganun nga nakikita natin dito eh.
Palit-palit.
They've found ways and means to get back into this ball game.
That's gonna be tough. 11 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Ito Santa Lucia, napituhan na kaagad ng tatlong team fouls. And you don't foul a good free throw shooting team like AIR21. They're one of the best when it comes to free throw shooting. Especially dahil wala na si Shot Daniels.
Oo. Alberto Molon with a steal. Nabitiwan ng bola. He recovers. Bola na Santa Lucia Realtors. Alex Cabagnon is back. Cabagnon laban kay KG Candeleta. Going to Omolon. Now to Chester Colombia. They go inside to Dennis Espino, who was fouled by Yancy De Ocampo. Dalawa lamang yan para kay Yancy De Ocampo. At may palitan tayo rito para sa Realtors. Oliver Agapito. Pinalik rito, pinalitan si Ricky Kalimag. Committed 2 personal fouls at the start of the fourth quarter. Agapito to Espino. Shot clock, 6 seconds. Espino kicks it out. Chester Colombia bumira sa labas. Kapos. Patrick Fran quickly to Bruce Dasha. Dasha bigay ang bola rito kay Ranidel De Ocampo. To brother Yancy. Yancy with a jump hook. Yes, it's in. Yancy De Ocampo meron na 10 puntos sa ball game na ito.
And seemingly Yancy, lumalaki ang mga mata basta wala si MARLOU. Alam niyang wala yung eraser ng Santa Lucia.
82-78. Lamang pa rin ang Santa Lucia. Cabagnon. Drives, faking up. Bruce Dasha getting the basket. 5 puntos siya ni Alex Cabagnon. 84-78 ball game here. Lamang ang Santa Lucia, AIR21. Sasagot ba? May foul muna na ibibigay si Oliver Agapito.
And that's already the 4th team foul na nakuha ng AIR21. At lahat ng mga fouls na yun, nanggaling sa post-up ni Ranidel De Ocampo. So they may be into a good thing right here, yung post-up ni Ranidel.
Seems like may substitution. Yes, babalik muli si Kenneth Doremdes. Papalitan ito si Alberto Molon. So it's going to be like all eyes to be on Kenneth Doremdes. Will he be able to carry his team to their first win here? Just can't do it all by himself. Dennis Espino should also contribute. Wow! Kumbaga na-ambush itong si Ranidel De Ocampo on that drive.
And another foul committed by Santa Lucia. Their 5th. That puts them in the penalty. And again, it is Ranidel De Ocampo. Sabi nga natin, they seem to be having a good thing in terms of the post presence of Ranidel. That until the well is dry, just keep on getting water.
Well, he missed on the first free throw and has not exactly been a good night offensively para rito kay Ranidel De Ocampo. Actually, parang naghahanap pa siya ng breakout game niya rito in this All-Filipino Conference.
course, he played exceptional basketball nung Fiesta Conference.
Oo.
Not a lot of people expected that from him. Pero with that comes a lot of responsibility and interest kung ano mang gagawin niya dito sa All-Filipino. And a lot of people still waiting. Tama ka, that breakout game that will define ito si Ranidel.
Samantala, as we return to action, natin sa ilalim, picks himself up si Chester Tolomia. Dahil na itulak ni Nino Cañoneta, who will pick up his second personal foul. Also, his second team foul laban sa AIR21 Express. Alex Cabagnot, fronted by Patrick Fran. Cabagnot, the bounce pass inside papunta kay Dennis Espino. Inaatasan niya si Yancy De Ocampo. Dennis Espino, walang tinaman doon sa kanyang tira. Tumama doon kay Oliver Agapito, kaya bola ng AIR21. 5-point lead. Gustong bawasan ng AIR21 Express. No Renren Retualo on the floor for the Express. Who's going to be taking care of the scoring here? They go to Ranidel. Against Agapito, Ranidel De Ocampo. There's a step foul once again.
It's actually the third time that Oliver Agapito had the hand check. The third time around, pinituhan na ng referee. But, you know, he has to take out that arm from the hip of Ranidel. Dahil foul talaga yon. Of course, that is a hand check foul.
I just had a chance to see Coach Alfrancis Chua tapping MARLOU Aquino. Ready to check in. Parang napapansin na rin ng Santa Lucia. Medyo namamayagpag na. Atake na sa ilalim. Itong either si Ranidel o si Yancy De Ocampo and also KJ Cañoneta. So here comes the human eraser for the Santa Lucia Realtors.
Of course, AIR21 making their move without their starters. Winnie Arboleda is not there. Si Ronald Tubid is not there. And lo and behold, pati si Renren nga, sinabi mo, wala dyan. And again, it's their second unit that had made the run versus the second unit of Santa Lucia.
84-81 here. Ang mga Santa Lucia. Alex Cabagnot. Nawala yung bola. That's Ranidel De Ocampo. Nabumantay kay Cabagnot pero he lost the handle. At ang bola babalik para Santa Lucia Realtors.
Lost opportunity for AIR21. It was a 3-point lead. 2-on-1 fast break. Pero get fault rin naman Ranidel dahil hindi naman siya gwardiya eh.
Pero ito si Cabagnot nahihirapan sa trapping defense and Cruz will score. Goal stab. He's concentrating on defense. Pero in this kind of a close ball game, lahat ng opensa rito napaka-importante. Look at Bruce Dasha. 6 points for tonight. And has not missed from the field.
Exactly, only a 1-point average. Getting a lot of minutes. Imagine, fourth quarter, si Bruce Dasha ang nasa court ngayon para sa AIR21. You might say it's actually the time that they're missing the services of Gary David, but Bruce Dasha making them forget about Gary David.
Oh, yan. Kanina nagkakaproblema ito Santa Lucia with Alex Cabagnot. Kaya binalik ni Coach Alfrancis itong si Paulo Mendoza to do the ball distribution chores here. Kenneth Doremdes. Ball tap out with hands. Ito ngayon, Patrick Frana on the attack. Hindi pa pasok. At last touch daw ang Santa Lucia. So AIR21 will have another crack at the basket here. And maybe take the go-ahead basket. 8 minutes and 42. Ball knocked out of bounds. Bola pa rin ng AIR21. Ranidel De Ocampo against Dennis Espino. Ranidel! Kumagay doon sa mga Jones na tira ni MARLOU Aquino. Pero wala nangyari. Wala rin nangyari para rin sa Santa Lucia dahil ang bola mabilis na bumalik para sa AIR21. Drop pass to Stasio na naman with 8 points in the game. So AIR21, lamang na ngayon. 85-84. Namang problema ang Santa Lucia. Kenneth.
Move your feet, KJ! Move your feet!
Kailangan dumana rito si Kenneth Doremdes. Goes to MARLOU Aquino. MARLOU Aquino. Goal stab once again. 11 points in the ball game para kay MARLOU Aquino.
And MARLOU showing his flexibility a couple of times around. He tried to go for the slam dunk. against the players of AIR21. Ngayon naman, isang shot na kanyang minaster na, yung Pajolens na tira.
2 games they played, MARLOU Aquino is averaging just only 5 points. At makalusot si Yancy kay MARLOU Aquino. So seesaw battle here in the fourth quarter, 87-86. 7:24 remaining. Doremdes to Dennis Espino. Pagpihit, may foul. At kanina may tatawag ito? Will this be Yancy De Ocampo? His third personal foul. Half-court offense ng Santa Lucia. They go to MARLOU Aquino. MARLOU against Yancy De Ocampo. 6 seconds na lamang ang shot clock. Espino puts it up from the outside. That's a long 2. And now, back on top. Santa Lucia, 88. AIR21, 87.
Last 3 possessions, it was the 3 big players of Santa Lucia that touched the ball and took the attempt. They're 3 superstars, but how long can they actually tow the entire team para sa Santa Lucia? Kailangan pa rin ng tulong mula dun sa other 2 players on the court. As we look at the hustle board, AIR21 on top.
Lalo na sa rebounds, patuloy pa rin na namamayagpag itong AIR21. Espino left open momentarily. Wala. Ano ito? MARLOU Aquino, tanga na yung bola. He was complaining to the referee. Tuloy-tuloy na pagbaba nito si Ranidel De Ocampo. Hand-time move para rito kay KG Canaleta.
And again, it's a fast break opportunity of AIR21, giving them another lead, 89-88.
Paulo Mendoza talking to his teammates here. He needs some movement, especially from their big men. Dennis Espino, lalapit. Kicks it out. KG Canaleta nakialam sa play. Canaleta laban kay Paulo Mendoza. Kenneth Doremdes blocking the shot of KG. KG ngayon, tanga pa rin ang bola. Naghanap na lamang ng foul.
After that play, Benji, napakaganda rin. Ito si Kenneth Doremdes not giving up on the shot of Canaleta, blocking his shot. But even better, Canaleta not giving up on the ball. That's why he has 2 free throws.
And that's the first free throw. It's KG Canaleta. Renan Retualo has been sent back into this ball game. More firepower, ika nga, para sa magiging opensiba nitong AIR21 Express. Split para kay KG Canaleta.
Bruce Dasha got a big hand from the bench as well as the fans. His 8 points could be the big difference dito sa laro.
2-point lead here for AIR21, 90-88. And this could be a good sign for AIR21. Tumungtong na naman sila sa 90, Jason. And at most times, they have been winning ball games when they are able to score in the 90s. So 4 seconds, a shot clock here for the Realtors. They truly need a quick play here. Baseline inbound. They go to Kenneth Doremdes. Ayaw!
Kenneth is down. 4-on-5 situation. Kenneth on the other side, holding on to his leg. That is not good news para sa Santa Lucia.
Samantala, ito naman good news ang inahatid ni KG Canaleta for his team here. He just do right at the moment. Renan Retualo. Easy two. Ren. Meron ng 13 puntos in this ball game.
And the biggest lead for AIR21 with 4 minutes and 48 to go. 6 na puntos. They have really turned it up dito sa fourth quarter.
Paulo Mendoza inside to Nilbert Tumulon. Tumulon aangat. That's it to go plus a foul. They needed that. Santa Lucia Realtors.
Exactly right. Yung right on the nail, Benji. They needed that. And it's so important
Through. At of course, mamaya malalaman natin kung ano magiging sitwasyon. Ito si Kenneth Doremdes. I do believe we have an official timeout here or something. Meron nga tayong official's timeout na itinawag rito. We're hanging on dahil... okay. Kung saan nasaktan ito si Kenneth Doremdes, yung roll tech natin hindi yata maayos. Maibalik sa kanyang posisyon, ano?
Ganun na pa tayo naka-penalty para, ha?
So, in the meantime, punta muna natin ating kasama si Richard Del Rosario. Richard?
Benji. Torrendes nga medyo doon siya na-sprain doon sa roll tech na yan sa kanto ng bench ng Santa Lucia. Kaya ngayon meron tayo officials timeout kasi pinauusog nila itong roll tech para hindi na raw madali. Baka madali pa yung mga ibang players dahil medyo malapit-lapit raw din sa court. So kaya after that mas-sprain si Kenneth, napasipa nga siya, natapik niya yan, nasuntok niya roll tech na yan dahil siya nga dyan na-injure. Paki bench.
Alright. Alam mo, medyo marami ring punishment na tinatanggap natin yung roll tech na yan, ano?
And we know a couple of coaches have already beaten up that roll tech. Minsan yan talaga may kasalanan kung bakit natatalo yung ibang team. But you know, Commissioner, former chairman, Buddy Encarnado, he was happy with the score a while ago, but I'm sure he's happy with the effort that his team has been showing sa labang ngayon.
Well, hindi pa naman natapos itong ball game na ito. Meron pa tayong may 4 na minuto. 4:40 to be exact. And Elbert Tumulon gets a free throw here to make this a 3-point game. Paulo Mendoza with a steal here. Papunta kay Catley. Equalizer. No! And Ronnie Del Campo takes care of rebounding here for his 9th rebound.
At alam mo, nabigla ng Santa Lucia itong AIR21 when they went for a full court press. Got an opportunity but just couldn't cash in.
Shot clock winding down para sa AIR21. Down to 6 na lamang. They have to put up a shot. Yancy did pero he missed. Ito ngayon ang Santa Lucia Realtors. 94-91. Paulo Mendoza up against Winnie Arboleda. They got a MARLOU AQUINO who's playing the outside right now. Omolon. Ayaw. And Yancy Del Campo for the rebound. Gran Ritualo na iwanan bukas pero hindi pumasok yung tira. Paulo Mendoza waiting for his teammates. They're trying to set up their half-court offense here. Catley to Dennis Espino. Binalik kay Catley. Jumper is in!
You know, what a time for Catley to eventually hit his first basket. That cuts down the lead to just 1 para sa AIR21.
Ito naman si KG Caneleta. Ayaw! Nakalampas na siya kay MARLOU AQUINO. Pero the ball rolled out. At meron pang may tatawag dito na loose ball foul. Kay Ronnie Del Campo. At panlima na yan. Kay Ronnie Del Campo.
Only 3 minutes to go.
So ito yung pagkakataon ng Santa Lucia to grab back the lead in this ball game. Paulo Mendoza now to MARLOU AQUINO. They go inside. Dennis Espino. Nakialam ito si Ronnie Del Campo. It's a foul. Laban kay Dennis.
It was a tough angle yung pasa ni MARLOU. You usually cannot get a pass to the post from that angle. Kaya ito inaabangan ka agad ng depensa ng AIR21.
It was a risky play that they wanted to execute. Ito po si Ronnie Del Campo. May 5 personal fouls na. Sabi nga natin, this is not the usual numbers that he would put up dun sa nakaraang conference natin.
But he's definitely put a lot of pressure on the defense of Santa Lucia. Gave his team a bona fide post presence. Kaya nagkaroon ng konting pag-iba yung ihip ng hangin because of the presence that he had. Getting a lot of fouls from the post when he had the ball.
We just tuned in. We only have 2 minutes and 59 remaining dito sa ating first game na ito. Si Kenneth Doremdes, kanina siyang the guy with a hot hand for the Santa Lucia Realtors. He hurt himself. At kumama siya doon sa roll tech. Nakapakan niya yun and he seems to be sprained right now. And yata itong Santa Lucia Realtors nararamdaman yung sakit na nararamdaman ni Kenneth Doremdes.
Well, mas masakit yung nangyari ngayon dahil naagawan na naman sila. Nagkaroon na naman ng pagkakataon ng AIR21 at the free throw line because they have been in the penalty at around the 9-minute mark. And like we said, these guys from AIR21 can definitely make it from the 15-foot line.
KJ Caneleta, who only missed one free throw.
That is his 18th point, Benji, looking for his 19th, which would mean back-to-back career highs para kay KG.
Pinalig po si Chester Colomia in favor of Nelberto Molon. And maybe they could get Chester Colomia to get hot, especially from the outside. Look at this. Foul against Winnie Arboleda. Arboleda claiming it was all ball.
Oh, and it seemed like not enough bodies para sa Santa Lucia in the backcourt compared to the number of AIR21 defenders that were there.
Nasa penalty na itong magkabilang kupunan. At si Dennis Espino ay titira po ng free throws. 2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. AIR21 just a couple of points shy in hitting the century mark. Santa Lucia, high-scoring ball game that we're seeing here. Alex Cabagnot, pinalitan. Itong si Cesar Catli could not get his shots. And look at the expression of the face of Kenneth Doremdes.
Alam mo, Benji, pinasok si Alex Cabagnot to have a two-guard lineup para sa Santa Lucia just to make sure that if the AIR21 does come along again, meron silang dalawang tagababa ng bola.
Siya pa. Ganun yung Rebe ko. Alright. Ayan po, 40 minutes playing time para rito kay Dennis. Samantala, ano yung naitawag rito? Loose ball foul. Si Winnie Arboleda matatawagan with that foul.
Actually, alam mo, si Winnie, hindi na alam na sa kanya tinawag yung foul.
Ayun, nagugulat
Ang
ngayon
gulat,
siya.
nandun siya ngayon, katabi ni Marlou, gulat na gulat.
Ako ba? Well, they have made the announcement.
Well, you know, we should see that the way he tried to part the defense of ito si Paulo at saka si Alex Cabagnot. Winnie Arboleda only coming up with 4 points dito sa larong ito. Even the coaching staff, hindi sila makapaniwala na napituan si Winnie Arboleda dun sa trap ng Santa Lucia.
So that's the end of the game at least. Concerning itong si Winnie Arboleda who fouled out. Yan po yung kanyang output, 3 steals and 4 points. 4 points din siya noong nakaraan nilang game. 3 points in their first one.
15 in the second. Pero nakita ko yung point na pinituhan nitong si Winnie. Ang ginawa niya kasi hinawi niya parehong si Paulo at si Alex kaya siya nakalusot. And tama naman yung tawag ng referee.
98-97 here, Renan Retualo. Oh, sabi niya si MARLOU AQUINO ba yun? Sabi niya, oh, mahirap na. Of course, may milestone na hinahabol ito si MARLOU AQUINO concerning his shot blocks. Yancy De Ocampo off the glass. 14 points in the ball game para kay Yancy.
And 6 points in the fourth quarter where it matters most.
197. 2 minutes and 23 remaining.
Stay with your man, right? Stay with your man, right?
Cabagnot, laban kay Patrick Fran. Ito si Cabagnot trying to set up Chester Colomia. Could not put up the shot against a much taller Ranidel De Ocampo, but Dennis Espino is open. Could not knock it down. And AIR21 leading by 3 sa kanila pang bola. As the announcement for the final 2 minutes of this ball game has just been made. Unproductive ang AIR21 in that offensive thrust.
Alam mo, hinayang na hinayang ito si Yancy. He had the shot that he wanted. Hit the glass well. Niluwa lang ng ring yung bola.
Samantala, si Yancy De Ocampo all of a sudden, this is one giant who has really woke up. Especially here in the fourth quarter, 14 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double performance right now for Yancy De Ocampo, but his job is not yet finished. Santa Lucia could bring this game closer. Dennis Espino. Colombia! No, that's short. And ball bounces out. Punta na sa panig ng AIR21.
Santa Lucia got the shot that it wanted. Chester Tolomia open for that three-point shot, just coming up short.
Both teams already in the penalty. Santa Lucia Realtors needing a stop here. They trail by 3. Open is Ranidel de Ocampo. Nope. Rebound. Kabagdot. Kabagdot. Laban kay Rendon Retualo. Kabagdot goes straight to the basket. Wala. Dennis Espino taking care of the offensive rebound in a crowded situation. He gets out of trouble. Paulo Mendoza. They go to Kabagdot. Chester Tolomia who missed kanina. 8-second shot clock here. Kabagdot puts it up. Ayaw talagang mahulog. 1 minute remaining. AIR21 leading by 3. And they want a timeout. Chua having some problems here. No Kenneth Doremdes. Down by 3. Time running out. This is just the way it is. They're looking for their first win. Ngayon na kaya? Hindi. Sa kasalukuyan po, 197. AIR21 with the lead. AIR21 with possession. Now, tingnan natin. Both teams already in the penalty. Santa Lucia playing honest defense here so far. Shot clock winding down. 5 seconds na lamang. Nakatalikod pa ito si Mike Telan sa basket. Bibigay kay Ranidel de Ocampo. And they put up a great defensive job there. Natawagan a shot clock violation. Ang AIR21, 38.4 seconds remaining. Santa Lucia down by 3. Gets ball possession here and needing a basket. Kung pwedeng 3, why not? Kung pwedeng 3-point play, why not? Dennis Espino thought about it. Paulo Mendoza left open. Yes! It's a TM plus. At the na bagong TM. Power to the people. Well, they designed that play. Coach Alfrancis Chua along with his coaching staff here. Dito makikita natin si Dennis Espino to kick it out to Paulo Mendoza. Gets the basket to go for a TM plus. At na bagong TM. Power to the people. They truly need that one. It's not yet a one-ball game. Score is tied at 100. Yan na lamang po. On your screens, nakikita ninyo ang oras na nalalabi. 25.5 seconds remaining.
Paulo has not taken a lot of shots in today's ball game, but he has made that one, the one that count.
Actually, in their previous game, well, kanina, hindi pa gumagawa ito si Paulo Mendoza. Not too much points, pero
exactly.
When they needed it the most, he was able to provide it. Actually, tinabla nga yung ball game natin. Yes, Jason.
Actually, lahat ng puntos ni Paulo nanggaling dito sa second half. 8 points all in all, 3 in the third, 5 in the fourth. Well, aside from Paulo, another guy playing that Santa Lucia will be looking at dito defensively, MARLOU AQUINO, which incidentally has gotten his first double-double in 1 year exactly to this day.
So, ito, tingnan natin ngayon. AIR21. Hindi nila pwedeng ubusin lamang yung oras dito. May matitira pa rito na may gitsang segundo.
And of course, that's a mismatch that they like kanina, but a big steal!
Alberto Malone! This is a getaway! He will be challenged! No, he could not make the basket! There's Chester Tolomia! Save it somehow! Save the situation for Santa Lucia Realtors! Wow!
Dito ka lang, Ren. Ilabas o kahit saan, ipigita nyo sa gitna. Labas sa pasok dito. Pagkatapos, Ren. Ha? Pwede, pasok mo lang pare. Quick shot. Kahit 3 points.
Well, one thing is for sure, they need a quick shot. We only have 3.8 seconds remaining dito sa ating ball game na ito. Ngayon na kaya for Santa Lucia Realtors to finally come up with a win dito sa All-Filipino Conference. Will he let his hair down? Coach Alfrancis Chua, 3.8 seconds. Bola ito ng AIR21. How did you figure out yung instruction ni Coach Perasol, Jason?
Well, obviously, they just said, we caught the tail end. Sabi nga nila, we need a quick shot. That is pretty obvious.
Balikan mo na. Balikan mo na ito. Bilis ho, bakit hindi mo payag? Sige, bilis. Wala na ako.
All right, 3.8 seconds remaining, mga kaibigan. At it seems like, kumbaga, kanya-kanyang toka na kung sino babantayan for Santa Lucia Realtors.
Exactly, Benji. Their worry is actually a lot of the players on the court right now para dito sa AIR21 are over 6 feet 4 inches. Kaya miski malalaki sila, kaya nilang tumira sa labas. If they have small people on the court, mahirapan sila na mabother o mapalit yung tira nito kung miski tumalon sila.
Ito pong Santa Lucia, nakakalamang ng dalawa. And looking for the first win dito sa conference na ito. They've lost to Kenneth Duremdes to injury earlier on dito sa ating fourth quarter. At of course, 30 puntos po ang output ni Kenneth Duremdes. Just try to imagine if he was still on the floor here. But Santa Lucia wanting to salvage the situation here without Kenneth Duremdes. They lead by 2. 3.8 seconds. That's the only time remaining here para masagot na. Ngayon na kaya for Santa Lucia. Ronnie Del Campo for the shot! Shot was there for Ronnie Del Campo.